Hello,
Hi,
I'm Virginia.
I'm Bianca.
We're the identical twins from the dying movie race, and we are continuing our Riff of Riffraff little series here. And so, as I just want to repeat this for last week, if you want a more highbrow review of shitty movies, you can go onto our blog and you can look up the Riffraff reviews on there where I review all these that we've watched, but because we're gonna have some nasty language in here and it's gonna be a little more just like our like really concrete opinions and like just how mad they made us. So yeah, rather than just a review. All right. So this week
We're doing 60s comedies that were supposed to be sparkling, but really just fell flat.
Yeah.
They're going to be Island of Love, Goodbye Charlie, and The Impossible Years.
Yeah.
Okay.
First, let's just say bad comedies are some of the most painful things to sit
Yeah.
through. Like,
They're fun to riff, but
Yeah.
when you actually have to sit through them, because we've had to sit
Yeah.
through some.
when they're like, it's a lot of people say it's harder for a bad comedy to be so bad it's good.
Mhm.
It's much easier for like a crappy drama to do that because then you can laugh at it and
Yeah.
have like somewhat fun during it. But when every joke is falling flat, it just it hurts. Like, if it can hurt sometimes. And none of these movies I would say are so bad they're good. I'd say a lot of them just sort of fall flat. Maybe there's like some aspect to it that can,
like, there's some like some of them have some genuinely like a little moment here or there.
Yeah.
I'm mainly thinking of Island of Love here.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not like a joke that it's, oh, that joke was so bad, it's really good now, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually a genuinely okay moment.
Yeah. Although, yeah, like you said, sometimes some of them, like, the jokes are lame, so you kind of chuckle. You're like,
Yeah.
was that supposed to be funny?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is pretty funny.
Yeah. That's the best way how, a bad comedy can become so bad it's good. All right.
Like, the horror of it all, that's a good example of one.
Oh, yeah, because
we'll get to
those
that.
jokes are lame.
Yeah, we'll get to that another time.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to start with, as you said, Island of Love. Okay, so Island of Love.
Island of Love. It's
Okay.
directed by Morton DaCosta,
Yep.
who did Auntie Mame and the Music Man. He mainly worked on the stage,
Yeah.
and then suddenly made this movie, then went back to the stage, as we can understand.
Yeah.
2 great movies, and then this.
So you can blame this for not leading to more movies like Auntie Mame and
I will.
Man. All right.
I will blame this movie.
So,
and this is the best, easily the best one of the 3 we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
For one particular reason.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the cast.
i.e. why it's easily the best one of the bunch.
Yeah, also why it's painful to watch in some points. Yeah. You're like, what are they doing here? All right, so in the lead, we got Robert Preston. And his sidekick best friend is played by Tony Randall. We'll get to him in a second. And the bad guy is played by, bad guy used loosely, is played by Walter Matthau. Not the last time. We will be talking about him tonight.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But isn't that strange? Like, these 3 comically gifted actors.
These 3 actors who could do comedy in their sleep.
Yeah.
And yet, only one of them in this is funny, and it's Tony Randall.
Because it's impossible for him
not to be funny.
Yeah, he's just as good as they get for comedy.
Yeah. It's one of those...
It's like how they always said with Kelsey Grammer, he can make a bad line funny.
Yeah.
That's exactly
that's Tony Randall.
That's Tony Randall.
There's only a few actors who can do that. Yeah, Kelsey being one, and Tony being another. And that... I mean, if we laughed during this movie, it wasn't because the line was funny. It was because the way he delivered it was funny.
Exactly.
Like, there's a line that we, like, legitimately laughed at when he gets...
Good heavens.
Yeah.
Like, he says it so David Hyde Pierce, like...
Yeah.
I just loved it.
Frasier's on the brain.
Yeah,
it's always on the brain.
We love Frasier, too. One of our favorite shows.
Yeah. Up there with The Simpsons, but...
And obviously Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yep. Why we do this. Why we watch this.
Thanks, guys, but...
But, so... Tony Randall, what was I saying? Yeah, okay, that line, the good heavens line. He says it after he's been kissed. Like, not, like, you know, really, when he's been really kissed.
Yeah.
And, by a girl who doesn't understand English.
So that relationship is kind of charming because she doesn't understand.
It's the best relationship in the whole movie.
Because she doesn't understand English, but she knows she wants Tony Randall because she's a smart girl. And so she just pursues him.
And she's like so over the top with it that she turns him off because he's like this. He plays an alcoholic in this, but like
it's like Lee J. Cobb in But Not For Me if it was funny.
Didn't you want to see that character in, you know, in a comedy?
That's this.
Yep. I'd be like, I always wanted Ray Milland in the Lost Weekend to be funny, you know?
Except it's the best part of the movie in this case. So.
Yes, it ends up kind of oddly working, not from a script standpoint, but because Tony Randall, you know, is always funny no matter what he does. I can't emphasize enough how bad the script is. The script isn't funny.
Yeah, everybody else at least tries, and the direction isn't awful either because it's Morton DaCosta. It's the script.
And it's on set. It's on location. And it's gorgeous.
In Italy, so you have that going for it.
Normally that in itself, like, if the movie was okay, it would still be like a movie that takes place in Italy would still be worth kind of recommending, but that's not the case here because the movie's not okay. It's bad.
Like just go watch a Mario Lanza movie that was filmed in Italy and you'll have a much better time.
Go watch Roman Holiday.
Yeah, go watch Roman Holiday. Go watch It Started in Naples. Go watch something else, but not this.
Yeah, or a movie that's, you know, an actual Italian movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's
so many good ones you can watch if your main reason to watch this is the location.
Yeah, which is always nice. I mean, that's always
it's always a bonus.
At least, you know, when a line is stupid, we're like, oh well, at least the shot looks nice.
But you could tell us that some parts they really do want it to be funny, but it's just the script is working so hard against them.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell, like, Walter Matthau, he's trying, but that character gives him absolutely nothing to do.
He puts on this voice. He sounds like a flamboyant gangster, and it's not funny. It sounds
on paper.
cartoony.
On paper, I know that Walter Matthau doing that sounds funny.
It sounds funny on paper, but when he's given like nothing lines, and when the character is so over the top, like Walter Matthau is very over the top in this. It's almost like he knows the script is bad.
He's doing a Raul Julia.
Yeah, exactly, and he's just trying to compensate for it. Although, like when Raul Julia does it, it's still kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, here it's not funny, like, because he's trying to compensate so much. It'd
be funny if it wasn't a comedy and he was acting like that.
Then it would be hilarious. If this was like a bad gangster movie and he was supposed to be tough and he did this, it'd be hilarious.
That would be awesome.
But when he's supposed to be like this goofy gangster and it's so ridiculously stupid, and it's like it just. You know, none of the jokes are landing, and just the character is not funny. It's just, it drags, you know?
And the goofy gangster is something that's been done really well.
Really well.
A whole bunch of times. As Billy Wilder says, if I'm going to write gangsters, they're going to be funny.
Isn't that George Cukor who said that?
I thought that was Billy Wilder.
Oh, well, maybe they both said it.
Either way, because I thought he said that when he was writing Ball of Fire.
Oh, maybe he did, but I know George Cukor said that too when he was doing Pat and Mike.
Well, either way, you know, you go see it done in...
Yeah, clearly this is something most directors agreed on, like, funny gangsters is a generally winning trope.
Or like Damon Rusky, or however you say it.
Mm-hmm.
He always does the funny gangster.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many good. We've seen this done so well. So here, seeing it done, we expect it to be good because we're so used to seeing it done well.
And we're like, well, Walter Matthau.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, well, this is probably going to be the saving grace. Like, no, it wasn't.
No, Tony Randall was.
Yep.
Thank the movie gods for Tony Randall.
I always say that. And those of you who want to see Robert Preston sing, because I love it when he sings. I love his voice. Yeah. He doesn't get to, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's this unlike...
He sings more in MAME than he does here.
That's,
And again, he's really good at comedy.
He is.
He plays a character similar to Harold Hill.
He does, except, like, well, Harold Hill is, like, a con and he is a jerk, but he's still charming.
Yeah.
This character isn't that charming.
Again, it's because of the script.
Yeah, I honestly don't think he's charming at all. I think he's just an asshole.
Because obviously Robert Preston's a very charming actor.
He can handle this type of part.
It It's just when it's written. Well. It's just when it's written like this. I mean, Rock Hudson couldn't make him charming.
I was gonna say, if Robert Preston can't make this type of character, the character he personifies in a lot of his movies, if he can't make it work, then it's not anything an actor can do. It's beyond that. It's just
with the same
irredeemable
with the same director that directed You as Harold Hill.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe like if this was a musical, the plot could be edged out. And like because this director,
it would probably be better if at least you have musically talented people in it. And there might be at least a saving grace of a song, so you don't have to concentrate on the plot so much.
And that's what I was thinking. It seems like the type of plot, like throwaway plot, that could be in like a musical where if the jokes are corny, it doesn't matter so much because like you're kind of like in that territory. It might not be too bad, but when it's all the movie has going for it is just the comedy, and the comedy isn't funny. It just doesn't work.
I mean, because, you just have Robert Preston sing a song, all of a sudden it's a better movie. Just have Tony Riddle dance, because he was trained as a dancer, it's suddenly a better movie. So, yeah, just one song actually could have maybe been a saving grace for this. It could have maybe bumped it up a half a star in Leonard Maltin's book.
Yeah. Well, one funny thing is, with this movie, and it's hard not to notice, is we have one version of Felix and one version of Oscar.
I know, isn't that funny?
From the two most famous versions, the film version and the TV version, only because we don't have the film version. The stage version, we don't know how that went, people my age, but so these are like the two Felix and Oscar, like odd couples that we know. So seeing two of them coming together is amusing.
I wish they shared more scenes there so we could make more
don't really have
jokes. Yeah, they don't.
If they just had a scene just with the two of them by themselves, I think it would have even if the jokes weren't funny, the idea of it would have been funny, because you're like, I'm watching one version of Felix and one version of Oscar playing off each other. It's like, it's so bizarre.
It's like that in Invasion USA, which Mystery Science Theater does. You see the two Lois Lanes in the same scene. So that alone is pretty funny.
Or it's like in Days of Wine and Roses, where Jack Lemmon and Jack Klugman are in it.
The other two people from the Odd Couple.
So like, even though it's really serious, like, and you're not thinking about it, like it's something that you look back at and you're like, wait a minute. But here in a comedy, you're like, it
could have really worked to its advantage.
Yeah, obviously they didn't know because this precedes that, and we realize that. But at the same time, it's like, it shows how gifted these two are at comedy and how gifted they are at playing off their co-stars. So, and it's something that, could have given this movie value in hindsight. But we don't have that because they aren't really together in a scene. They're in scenes together with other people around, but they don't really interact. They don't have a Felix Oscar type of reaction. So if you're like a big fan of The Odd Couple and you like wanted to see this because it has two actors known for The Odd Couple in it, you're not gonna get anything out of it.
And a lot of jokes here really did have promise. They just are not executed well because of the writing. Like there's one part where they have to speed up a funeral, like a really traditional Italian funeral, and on paper
which are like really long, and melodramatic.
And on paper, like if it was something like Monty Python did, that could be really funny.
If Monty Python did it would be amazing.
Of course it would.
It would be amazing.
But here it's just it
seems insensitive here.
I know, because they do it in like fast motion, and I know on paper again that seems kind of funny, but just the way it's executed is just not like they really don't go all the way with the jokes. Like sometimes they go too far, or they don't go far enough.
This one just seemed like insensitive. Especially since we are dealing with in this movie, our main character is a jerk.
They're con men.
They're con men, but we should still always be on their side. And things like this do not help.
Because they're making a movie that doesn't exist. And again, on paper, that seems funny.
Yeah, that's the plot to Argo.
I know. If it were funny.
If it were a comedy. You see, another thing, didn't you watch Argo and you're like, why isn't this a comedy?
I know, I thought that. But again, see, a lot of these jokes did have promise. The story did have promise, especially with that cast. It had so much promise. So it's just disappointing.
And it had the location to back it up, to like add this extra beef to it.
It really could have been a sparkling comedy. But if it wasn't for that script, if you got someone else to write it.
And if and if it wasn't for the script, and I know the actors feel they have to compensate, and that's why some of them, like the exception of Tony Randall, seem like they're overplaying it. Whereas Tony Randall seems like pretty natural. He's very laid back in this. He
usually is.
Yeah, he's usually laid back until something amplifies him, and that's the same way he is in this.
Until
and that
he's
works.
king of the elevator.
Yeah, exactly. Until he becomes king of the elevator. And I think that with this, it's one of those things that I'm sure if the script was better, the actors wouldn't be acting like that.
They wouldn't have to.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to. So
because you don't see Tracy and Hepburn doing that.
No.
Because they never had to.
Because these are talented people, and they know how to handle stuff like this. So I feel like Walter Matthau's performance wouldn't be as cringy if the script was good. Because I feel like he would know, and then he would calm down a little bit. Because I don't think he's miscast in this. It seems again, on paper, it seems like a good idea, but when you watch him on screen, it's actually pretty painful because you're like, this just isn't funny, and you feel like he's trying just way too hard to make you laugh, and it just makes it, even more unbearable.
Final thoughts on Island of Love. It's of the movies we've riffed, I don't hate this one nearly as much as I hate the others. Because again, some movies that we've riffed have absolutely nothing going for them. This at least has something. This has Tony Randall. It has Tony Randall, so it has something going for it. If the whole movie was that plot, even with that script, I wouldn't have cared.
Me too. I wouldn't have cared.
I'd be like, Tony Randall, I don't care.
I feel like if his character was the lead, it would have helped a lot because Robert Preston, again, he's normally a champion at this type of character, the con man who can't help but be charming, and he can't help but have the audience on his side, even though he is a jerk, but he's a harmless jerk. And this, he just seems like a jerk.
Yeah. He doesn't even get to do, the classic wisecracks that he did later in his career that really... that are really fun to watch.
They give all things like that to Tony Randall, which I'm glad they do, because he better than anybody.
But it just feels like they're like, Robert Preston, you're not going to be funny in this. You're just there to be there.
Yeah.
So we need a leading man. We're not going to give you anything funny to do. We know you're good at it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just not funny.
It's just disappointing is the real thing. Because you expect it to be this. With the talent behind it, you expect it to be something good, and it's not.
Yep. It had the budget. It had the actors. It had everything but a script. And it just shows how important a script is, because an actor's charm can only go so far. And in this, I feel like if the I do know the actors felt they had to overcompensate, but if they dialed it back just a bit, I think it would have been more bearable. Yeah. But the fact that, especially Walter Matthau, who just isn't good in this movie. Yeah. And again, it's
the only time I've seen him not be good.
Yeah. And again, I understand where he's coming from, but it doesn't work. Yeah. And a lot of the actors are just way too broad. Yeah. So it feels like it's trying way too hard.
Again, they go too far, not far enough. It's just really disappointing. Yeah. It's the main sin of this movie. It's disappointment.
Yeah. And it's pretty forgettable. Yeah. I forget about it all the time.
It's not offensive or anything. It's just you're going to forget it. It's kind of stupid.
Although the fast funeral scene is definitely not. It's not tasteful.
No. Yeah. But if they really went all the way with it, it could have at least been
funny. It could have been funny if they
because sometimes there's
if they took it to black comedy.
Because I said sometimes there can be something funny.
Which Python would have done.
Yeah, because sometimes there can be something funny and something distasteful like that. But no,
exactly.
But not in this movie.
Exactly. A lot of comedies do really well with that, with crossing the line to a point where it becomes funny. But this, like you said, it feels too tame, and therefore it feels insensitive because it doesn't go far enough to where it just becomes funny. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so now the next one. Goodbye, Charlie. Hate to see you go. Best part of this movie is that title song.
I think of Sorry, Charlie from the commercials with the fish.
Oh yeah,
with the tuna. I don't know. Is it a tuna? No, I think of that. Anyway.
So this movie again, it really did have promise, which is a really disappointing thing. The next movie we'll talk about had no promise whatsoever.
No, it's the next one's the worst.
Yeah, definitely the worst.
Last week we ended with the objectively the better one of the two. This week we're gonna end with the worst one.
But with Goodbye Charlie, again, it's disappointing, and it's based off a stage
and it's
play.
not funny.
Yeah. It's based off a stage play. Oh god, who wrote it again?
I don't know.
A really good writer.
Yeah.
If I think of it, I'll say it. But it's a really I think it's George Axel wrote, actually.
Oh, okay.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because so he wrote this play, and it must have been better on the stage. If they're going to
I think had the lead. I think,
yeah. I mean, if they're going to adapt into a movie, it had to at least be good on the stage.
Or maybe we were saying it could, for all we know, just not age well.
Yeah, it could.
There are so many questions I have watching this that might be in the stage version, but if they're not, then it just doesn't age well.
Or maybe they had to dial it back way too far for the movie.
That's possible too.
And again, we have a shining beacon in this movie that actually makes it part of it bearable. But when you look at, but he doesn't come until later in the movie, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But again, this cast is really good, and it was directed by one of the all-time great directors of classic cinema, Vincent fucking Minnelli.
Vincent Minnelli, like, I would have said he never like made a movie that's like that you can call like bad. That he's made some mediocre movies, but nothing you can call bad. And then I saw this, and I changed my mind. I'm like, no, he did make a bad movie. It's called Goodbye, Charlie.
At least it's just one, but I wish some directors can't say that much. But this doesn't even look like a Vincent Minnelli movie, unfortunately. It really could have been saved by the classic Minnelli look. Yeah, like you don't see any Minnelli red. I feel
like he is coasting through this. I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. He was just probably like, this is stupid, I'm not.
Yeah. So let's talk about the cast.
Okay, so it stars Tony Curtis and Debbie Reynolds. Again, you would probably be tempted to watch it.
Yeah, I know. It seems like a winning combination.
Just like Island of Love. You're like, oh, wow, how bad can it be with that
How bad can it really be if it stars Tony Curtis and Debbie
Reynolds? And it also stars some famous people, stars to be. Again, Walter Matthau's in this, and he's not as bad as he was.
No, he's fine in this.
Yeah, he's fine. No. He's just not in very much of it.
Yeah.
And again, he could have saved it maybe, if he was in more of it.
He plays another gangster.
Yeah.
As we said, yeah.
Just here, it's some like he doesn't go.
He doesn't go camp
out.
With it. Yeah. He plays it pretty straight.
I guess he deemed this script better.
I guess he did on the
Even
Walter
though it's
Matthau
not
scale of things.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not better than Island of Love. But,
no, it's confusing.
Yeah. And this movie also has Ellen Burstyn in an early role, which is always nice. But it's like she was also in For Those Who Look Young, which we'll get to another time. And so you're like,
it's good to know that she she moved up. It's not like this is like she's already like famous and she's doing this.
And it's fun to see her when she's so young too, like and kind of in a like a sexy girl role, so it's kind of fun to see those kind of like almost a leading lady role. She's not a support in this, but her character's like as if she were a leading lady.
And Joanna Barnes is
and Joanna Barnes, real top drawer.
Yeah, speaking of anti-meme, I can't see her without thinking about.
I know. And I stepped on the ping pong ball. Imagine.
I can't not think of that.
I love that scene.
I know, it's great.
So you have people really good with comedy again. And Ellen Burstyn, like this Oscar-winning actress. So
keep that in mind when you watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
With an Oscar-winning director.
I know. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
And then later on in the movie, you get Pat Boone, and I know this sounds strange.
It sounds strange. You won't believe us.
But Pat Boone is by far the best part of this movie.
I could, in my...
He is the only one that had the funny lines.
Yeah. In my review, when I was writing about this, I said, I can't believe it either. I don't believe it either. But in a movie that contains all these really talented people, Pat Boone is the funniest part of it.
I know, and he's a singer. He's not really an actor.
So... we'll talk about him first, I guess, before we get into the plot is so complicated.
Talk about the good part.
Yeah. Well,
he plays a mama's boy who courts Debbie Reynolds, and a lot of the lines he says, they're supposed to be he's such a mama's boy, it's pathetic. So a lot of the lines he will say, referring to his mother.
Yeah.
They're really
his
funny.
Mother who we never see.
Yeah. So that's actually pretty funny too. You never see the mother who always talks about.
Yeah, because we're not worthy of meeting him.
No. But he's just always if mother were here,
exactly.
It's like Norman Bates if it was hilarious.
It's I mentioned, it reminds me, if anybody has seen the movie, A Very Special Favor with Dick Shawn's character in that movie, who is the best part of that movie.
Oh my god, he's so funny.
He's so funny. That's this character.
Oh, yeah.
And it's that character in A Very Special Favor is our favorite part of it
Yeah.
because he's so funny. So I was like, at least because I
And
find
he's in more of that movie than
he is.
Pat Boone is in this. Maybe if the movie was about Pat Boone, it
Yeah.
would be funny. But
So Pat Boone basically does that, just maybe slightly straighter, but not
Yeah.
much. He kind of
and it's kind of funny because he says in such a straight way. He doesn't ham up. He's not like, "Oh, mother," you know.
Yeah.
He like how Dick Shawn does it. Like he just says it like
Yeah, like a mama's boy.
like again.
Yeah.
He's not trying to be funny. He says it, and then it is funny.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like if the script wasn't funny, if his lines like weren't funny, I didn't notice because he honestly was pretty funny.
Yeah, he actually made us laugh. He's the only person in this movie that really made us laugh.
I laughed at one line Tony Curtis said.
And again, it was the way he said it, but
yeah,
like with Pat Boone.
I'll get to that part eventually.
It has to do with the plot.
It does, and
but Pat Boone kind of comes in out of left field.
Yeah, and you wish he was in more of it.
I know. I said I wish the movie was about him. That would be a really fun movie. I would watch him being the mama's boy trying to court women.
But we often
while being a mama's boy.
I mean, Pat Boone only made like 2-3 good movies.
Yeah, April Love, Mardi Gras,
and Journey to Center.
Journey to Center.
Yeah, that's like the high point of his career.
Yeah, again, musicals and sci-fi. So like again, he didn't really do a lot of comedy.
Yeah, and most of his movies are bottom of the barrel. Like they are bad.
Later on.
Like they
especially at this time.
Yeah, especially when he was doing this.
Because for this he did The Yellow Canary, the 1963 film.
Yeah, which is really bad. So I hear. I haven't seen it, but
you would like to. We'll probably riff it
at some point. But and the horror of it all, which we'll get to.
Yeah,
and
although he is the best part of that film.
Yeah, so
because he sings one song and it's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God, everyone shut up for a second. Yeah. All right, so let's get to the plot. We talked about the one good thing about this movie,
and this is So Pat Boone, best part about this movie. Now let's get to everything else, which is bad,
really bad. Yeah. Okay. So the plot, it opens up with Walter Matthau shooting this guy in the butt. In the ass. He shoots him in the ass.
We never see his face either. She shoots Charlie.
Yeah, we know it's Charlie, and then we get to the theme song with an animated opening. I think.
The other best part of the film,
fine,
the animated opening and the song. Which
I always enjoy animated openings, but
and obviously that's probably the best known thing about this movie, the song.
Yeah.
And Bobby Darin later sang a really good version of it. I don't remember who sings it here.
I don't either. But
oh yeah, it was just a chorus of people.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So I thought Bobby Darin might sing it, but he didn't. So I was upset about that.
Yeah. But, so he gets
after Charlie gets shot.
We go to like his funeral where no one shows up except his best friend Tony Curtis. I don't know why they expected people to show up if they knew everyone hated him, but anyway,
because he's this like gangster who
like playboy gangster,
playboy gangster who's always with somebody else's girl.
Yeah, and that's how
he gets shot.
Yeah, so he's with Walter Matthau's girl, and so anyway, I guess like Debbie Reynolds enters the picture.
And she's a reincarnation.
Well, that's how they explain it. This movie has no fucking idea what reincarnation is.
Well, because she's not born again. Like, it starts like she's all of a sudden she's this like attractive girl in her mid-20s. Like,
and so,
and she remembers being Charlie.
Yeah, and so like she knows she's Charlie, just in a woman's body, and they basically are just trying to figure this out, and at the same time, in the stupidest fucking thing about this movie, the police somehow think Tony Curtis had something to do with it.
Even though he wasn't on the boat.
He wasn't on the boat.
He wasn't even in that part of the country.
No, and he is the only person in the world that likes this man. Like, there are a million suspects. He's not one of them.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest thing. Like, the most baffling thing I've seen.
And
I said, the cops in this made the stupid-ass cops in Misbehaving Husbands, another movie we'll get to, they made them look smart.
Yeah. Because those cops would have jumped to any conclusion.
Yeah.
But with this one, again, they could have really just went like they do not go nearly as far with this plot as they could have. Like they could have, because think about this playboy suddenly is in the body of a woman and suddenly has to think like a woman, act like a woman. That could have been like, you know,
a fish out of water.
Yeah, a cruel karma story of him now realizing he has to put up with what women have to put up with, but it doesn't go there.
It's just
Charlie just walking around like, jerk. I'm a girl. Look at my body. I'm hot now.
And I want to address something because, like I said, the way this movie explains it all a reincarnation, which makes no fucking sense because that's not how reincarnation works. But like, so he's in the body of a grown woman, and I kept thinking throughout this thing, who is this woman?
Yeah.
Whose body
did she come out of thin air?
Yeah, whose body did he just take over? Because in the end, we see a woman, like, you know, the same body of the same.
It's like the ending of One Touch of Venus.
Yeah, it's the same body, but it has her own mind, and you're like, is this her? So if it is, then Charlie is a pervert who deserved to die because...
Or is it like just... Or did they see her and be like, let's model the body after her? I don't know.
But it's a grown woman.
Yeah.
Like, so I kept wondering... There's a scene in it where, Charlie... Debbie Charlie is... We'll just call it Debbie Charlie.
Okay.
So they know that it's Charlie and Debbie's body. So, at one point, Debbie Charlie says... You know, I always wanted to, like, see a woman naked, and now all I have to do is look down, and there I am. And I'm like, dude, this woman, probably had an autonomous life, and you are violating her.
Or,
it just, like, and I know
or he would have to deal...
Yeah, I know
I don't know where this body came from.
Yeah. I know if he's in somebody's body, he'd have to deal with it, but, I mean, it'd be like if in All of Me, she took advantage of him. It feels like that. It just feels gross. Like, I'm like...
That would have been a really... All of Me would have went a completely different way.
Yeah. But it's just like... you know, because it makes you ask all these questions that I don't think the movie intended you to ask in your head, because I just kept thinking... Because we just kept thinking, we're like, is this somebody? Like, this is a grown woman. It has to... Is it somebody else's body that he just took over?
Or did heaven create it?
Yeah. Did this person, like, die at the same time? Is it like Here Comes Mr. Jordan?
Yeah.
But,
and normally, like, body replacement movies, I think those are pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Here Comes Mr. Jordan, in my review to this, I said, take a movie like that, which explains everything you need to know in the first couple minutes.
Very frank.
And you're not asking questions throughout.
I don't have any questions.
You don't have any, because it addresses everything and knows what the questions the audience would come up with, and it just doesn't deal with that. But also, I feel like it could have easily been explained, like, you know, instead of, oh, Charlie, you've just been reincarnated as a woman, as a grown woman. It could have just been, you know, something easier, like she died at the same time you did.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like you're violating a body of somebody. I mean, it just feels wrong.
Another point of this movie I should mention is that Charlie Debbie suggests that she and Tony should get married. And that is like, again, this could have been funny if it was like a body switch thing maybe, and he didn't know it was Charlie or something. But now it's just like, okay, so your friend, who's now a woman, wants to marry you, but it's still your friend.
Yeah.
Like, she's still, like, has the mind of a man, but the body of a woman. So it kind of brings up a lot of...
It did lead to the one other funny line I found in the movie where Tony Curtis says, oh, we've been best friends for 20 years, so what's the next natural progression? We get married. Yeah. And I was like, the line itself wasn't that funny, but he said it in a funny way.
Yeah.
But
so it brings up a lot of, like, and again, maybe the movie didn't let it go like this, but if it maybe brought up, like, a lot of, like, sexuality,
totally.
like hidden meanings, it could have been really creative.
Because it honestly seems like, I think I also mentioned this in my review, that Seinfeld episode where George dates a woman who looks like Jerry.
Yeah.
And it brings up all these questions, like, where he's like, am I in love with Jerry? Is that why I want to be with her? Yeah, and that's what this feels like. I'm like, the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, is he in love with Charlie? And the only thing that was keeping him from being with him was that he was a man and he's not gay. Is that the only thing?
But Charlie's very straight, and then all of a sudden he's completely fine with marrying his friend or dating Pat Boone.
Yeah,
like where did that come from?
Like, is Charlie bisexual?
Yeah, like maybe if you addressed that, it could have actually been interesting. Yeah, but whatever.
Or if he's thinking about things he didn't think about before
because now he's a woman and he can't think about them.
Yeah, this movie just seems to think we're naturally gonna think that anybody who's in the body of somebody else, like you're
suddenly a woman.
You're suddenly a woman who's attracted to men, but you're like, no, this is Charlie who likes women. He admits he looks at himself naked.
And so again, like, this is the kind of thing that doesn't age well because naturally we think of sexuality.
We're gonna think about all these homosexual.
Because sexuality is very open now. So so naturally we're gonna be going there and wishing they answered that question.
Yeah, throughout this whole movie, I am honestly thinking there is some gay attraction. There's a gay attraction between these two that they weren't able to fulfill until Charlie became a woman. I feel like
if that was a story, that might actually be interesting.
That would be interesting, and there's a lot you can do with that. Yeah. If it was a body switching movie with that type of mechanic, and it just in dealing with that, like maybe there, like you can have this emotional connection to somebody. Yeah. But who, you're not attracted to.
Although in the end, he it hints that he gets with Debbie Reynolds, like the person who looks just like Charlie, Debbie. Even though she's not Charlie. So Charlie.
I feel like she's gonna have a lot of questions. Yeah, this poor woman.
Charlie's completely gone. Yeah. So you're just with this woman who you were attracted to sexually, but not the mind. I guess you liked, like your best friend's mind.
Yeah, the part of it that you like the connection you had.
If this was person. If this did have homosexual undertones, like maybe that's the part that you like, the mind. Now that it's in the body. So, but then now that's gone. So it kind of puts to rest.
No, he was just like, no, I was just shallow. Yeah. I only
wanted the body.
Well,
but it kind of puts to rest the homosexual plot that so anything that could have been interesting there is gone now.
Yeah, anything that could have been interesting or thought provoking is completely nixed.
If this was really just kind of a mature comedic look at sexual roles
and gender
gender roles, sexual desires, and sexuality, it could have really been funny. Maybe it was in the play, I don't know, and they wouldn't let them do it in the film.
So it just comes off as a stupid body switching movie that answers no questions.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see what this was like on the stage because I'm guessing it wasn't like this.
If it was anything like that, what we were just saying, then I'm sure it would have been worth seeing.
Yeah.
But if it was like this, if this is a faithful adaptation, then I wouldn't have given it I wouldn't.
Then why would they make a film out of that?
Because maybe it just doesn't age
successful.
Well. Yeah, maybe it just doesn't age well.
I don't think it would.
Because maybe all these questions just come up now. They weren't thinking about it.
But it wasn't successful when it came out either. I don't think.
But wasn't the play though?
Yeah, I believe the play was. Or else, why would they adapt it?
They were really sure it's a failure, but we will try again.
The Richard Benjamin mentality and remake flops right away. I guess that's. And if it was like that, then why was Lauren Bacall sign on to be in it?
That's true. I also want to mention Charlie's character in this because he goes through Charlie Debbie goes through a character development in this,
quote unquote.
Yeah, through Pat Boone's character because he's basically conning him.
Mm-hmm.
He, she, they are conning him, and it's not believable at all.
Mm-mm.
You don't believe this character has changed.
Well, because just 10 minutes ago,
Debbie Reynolds is good in this scene, and she does try to sell it. It's just the script getting from point A to point B, and from a character's perspective, doesn't work.
But just 10 minutes ago, she was blackmailing Joanna Barnes and Ellen Burstyn, women who've had affairs with Charlie.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, he makes this development because of Pat Boone.
And I'm gonna use that pronoun for now. They are blackmailing these women who had, like you said, had affairs with Charlie, and it's just...
It's supposed to be funny, by the way.
Yeah, and it's this isn't funny. This is, insulting. And and like you said, it comes out of nowhere because just 2 seconds ago we got like the blackmail plot, and Tony Curtis even says to them like, "This isn't a good idea," blackmailing people like that, and it's also like how rude is it that Charlie's blackmailing his ex-lovers who are married? So I mean,
the woman he seduced.
Yeah,
like he's part of the blame here too.
Yeah, I mean, gross.
So, final thoughts on Goodbye, Charlie.
Goodbye, Charlie needs to go bye-bye.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hate to see you go. No, I really don't hate to see you go. You can go.
Yeah, you can.
Again, just another big disappointment.
Yeah, and...
Again, you had the possibility of doing something really special. You didn't.
The difference here being, like, the cast is not unbearable here. They're fine. They're just given bad material, and Pat Boone's the only one that's actually funny.
He's the Tony Randall of this movie. Okay, now we get to the worst one. The Impossible Years, aka Take Me, She's Mine, if it were made in 1968 and sucked. This is exactly like Take Me, She's Mine. It even ends the same way as Take Me, She's Mine.
Take her, she's mine. You said Take Me, she's
mine. Oh my god, okay, whatever. I'm so mad.
Yeah, you're that mad.
Except in Take Her, She's Mine, the daughter wasn't a fucking brat.
Yeah.
Because she's played by Sandra Dee, and I will never hate her.
Yeah, she's played by what's-her-face here.
I don't know.
I think she went on TV later. In my review, I do research of the actors, and I mentioned...
This one has a good cast, too.
Yeah, it does. We have David Niven, Lola Albright, Chad Everett, and Ozzie Nelson.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe, Ozzie doesn't even get to do anything. I'm sorry. I love Ozzie and Harriet, and so just any episode of Ozzie and Harriet's a million times better and funnier than this movie is. This movie didn't have any good jokes, while the other ones they had a Tony Randall and Pat Boone. This one has nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing going.
That's you would think David Niven could sell anything. Yeah. Before I saw this, I thought that, but I mean,
the poor man. He's defeated.
He is defeated by.
It's like he doesn't care. Like, after a while, he's just like, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't blame him.
No, I don't
like
either.
Everyone in this is like that. Like, Lola Albright, I don't think gives two shits. She's barely in this, so why should she?
She really, has any lines.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm just doing this on my break from Peter Gunn.
Yeah, she's like, at least I get to work with... She probably just, because David Niven's in it, he's the nicest guy ever.
Everyone loves working with him.
Yeah. Maybe that's why people signed on to this. But then how did they get David? And Ozzie Nelson's barely in this. And just like Robert Preston and Pat Boone in that case, he doesn't sing at all or do anything Ozzie Nelson-like. He's just kind of there to be there, and then he's gone.
And this is another one with like a theme song. Do the Cowsills sing it?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it's the Cowsills. Oh
my god, that's insane.
But
I don't even remember there being a theme song.
Yeah, it's at the beginning. When they're at the university.
Okay.
So there's also, before we get to the daughter, because that's a really big thing that we have to talk about. Okay, the fucking pervert
next door neighbor.
Fuck
Ozzie's son.
Guy. Fuck that guy.
Ozzie's screen son. No, it's not. It's not David or Ricky.
It's not David. I fucking wish. Ugh.
Would have actually been at least like there'd been something going for this movie.
This character
is so gross.
This character, I would be afraid of him.
He's a sexual harasser.
This character is a sexual assaulter.
Yeah,
this character seems like he is a rapist.
Yeah,
he literally, in one scene, it's played for comedy. It literally seems like he is trying to rape this girl.
He keeps coming onto the daughter, and she blatantly states that she doesn't want him to come on to her.
He's climbing on top of her.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god, I'm so attracted to you. I had to take a cold shower because I'm so attracted to you. That is so gross. Like,
it is. And it's supposed to be funny. I'm like, because it's supposed to be, teens.
No,
look how they're
This is the kind of guy who sends people dick pics without their consent.
Oh my, yeah. This
is the old version of that.
This guy would, he would thrive in the age of, Tinder because he would be, blocked by everybody and,
He wouldn't be allowed on Tinder.
Yeah, he would try all the dating sites and send his dick pics to everybody because this fucking guy, I could not stand him.
Yeah.
Even before the almost rape scene, I couldn't stand him. But
and this is kind of a quote unquote sex comedy,
if you can call it that.
And it's like, it's Take Her, She's Mine isn't really a sex comedy, but
this movie apparently thinks sexual assault is funny.
Yeah.
It's not.
Like, because we get it, he wants to have sex, but they make it in a way that just makes him seem like an assaulter rather than a horny like a relatable horny teenager. He's not super bad or anything.
I was gonna say, it's not like a Judd Apatow character where he's just horny and like thinks with the wrong head. This character is an assaulter.
This kid isn't McLovin. He's the guy from Porky's who puts a camera in the girls' locker room.
I feel like this kid would be like the villain in like a horror movie today. It's a horror movie.
No, he'd be the kid that dies first.
Oh yeah, he would be. You're right. Like the horny teen that dies, that the monster kills first.
Yeah, and again with direction and a script like that, how do you make a part like that good? I mean,
I read that this actor went on to do nothing, and I'm like, I wonder why. Because this character's fucking creepy. Yeah. I would never hire this actor again.
Even though he's probably nothing like that, but the script, but the dumbass script.
Yeah, this is like your first movie. Yeah, and there's no way you're coming back from that scene.
You're probably like, oh my god, I'm so excited to make this movie. It's with David Niven. I get to play Ozzie Nelson's son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that sucked.
Oh my god, it's gross.
Yeah.
And
then Chad Everett's the other guy in this movie, so obviously we're not going to be looking at you.
Really.
Okay, the best part of this movie is staring at Chad Everett.
That was my favorite part of the whole movie.
I know.
I gotta stare at Chad.
I mean, I know what you're thinking.
Chad wears glasses.
I know.
He looks good in glasses.
I know what you're thinking. Can't you watch him on TV rather than watch this? Well,
yeah, you'd think that, wouldn't you? Yeah. Couldn't you watch Ozzie Nelson and Lola Albert on TV?
Yeah, you could.
Could you watch David Niven and literally anything else?
Close your eyes and pick one. It will be better than this. It's probably the worst movie ever made.
I can't imagine that there's one worse than this. If there is, that's troubling.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen.
Yeah. Because again, like we said, the other ones had at least like a couple jokes that worked for it. You look at the teen comedies that we riff, like I said, even the beach party, like sometimes there's a little thing there. We're like, oh, that's or song.
Just the actor.
Yeah, exactly, or song, or the actors again, because they're trying and some of it works.
Yeah, like Walter Matthau. And, Island of Love, they're over the top a lot of times, but at least you're like, well, at least that actor is getting work.
I can never hate enough Monticello. Yeah, but here there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's not one line I laughed at.
No. This comedy was awful.
I know.
Again, just so you know, again, like we said, they think sexual assault is funny.
Yeah.
That's the type of comedy this is.
And, to go off of Take Her, She's Mine, this movie, is kind of like the whole father won't accept his daughter growing up thing. But in Take Her, She's Mine, Jimmy Stewart is upset that his daughter, Sandra Dee, is going to college, that she, is becoming a woman. Here he's like, it's just doesn't go to college or anything. He just doesn't want boys hanging around her, understandably.
And also,
but that's not. But where's the context there? Like, in Take Her, She's Mine, he doesn't want her to leave because she's going to college, and therefore it symbolizes growing up. Here, it's just sex. My daughter can't have sex, but there's really nothing there. And again, she's not doing anything bad, so it feels completely unwarranted. Like, just him freaking out because over her, like, doing stuff. Because, again, she doesn't do anything bad.
No, she does. In this.
She does?
Oh, yeah. I hated this character.
No, I mean, she doesn't do anything sexy
Oh, sexy bad. Well, that picture.
But she
of her, like, naked.
Yeah, although she didn't pose for it naked.
No, but she takes it to, like, her father's party with his colleagues, and I'm like, who would ever do that? My mom's a professor, and I would never, like, there's not a painting of me like that, but if there was, hypothetically, I wouldn't bring it down to her colleagues and say, look at this.
Yeah, but again, his reactions to her seem completely unwarranted in that department, because she's not leading these boys on, she's actually saying, no, get away from me.
That is true.
Except for Chad Everett, because it's Chad Everett.
I must say, to me, one of the biggest problems with this movie is it's about a daughter that's growing up and how, like, her father's being unreasonable. But a lot of the times I'm like, the father's not unreasonable. This daughter is not growing up. This daughter is, like, I guess she's supposed to be, like, 16, 17. Yeah. She's supposed to be, like, 17. She acts like she's 14.
And in Take Her, She's Mine, like, both of them are completely warranted. Like, I can understand why he's worried about his daughter, but at the same time, like, you know, she's in college, you know, she needs to be alone.
This sounds like an extremely goofy movie.
Yeah. But this one, but with this version, it's basically just, like, it's basically, again, my daughter can't have sex, but she's not having sex, you idiot. Why are you freaking out about this? And then at the same time, she's just being, again, completely unreasonable, where she could just easily say, hey, Dad, like, you're being ridiculous.
Yeah. She's also, like you said at the beginning, she's a brat, because, like...
she's not likable at all.
No, because, like I said, I don't believe she's grown up at all. I think, like... It feels like a brat. It would
throwing
be
a temper tantrum.
Yeah. It would be like...
She doesn't deserve Chad Everett.
Yeah.
He should be with me. No.
It's one of those movies where you feel like neither side is really right. Although the father does come from the better place because he's just trying to protect his daughter.
But he's just going way over top.
Yeah, that's true. It goes way over top.
Instead of talking to his daughter like any normal father would do. At the
same time, the daughter takes a picture of herself naked to a party with his colleagues.
Yeah,
it's like...
Because she's an idiot.
And so, I think that... Well, this movie would be like, if in Lady Bird, like, they were both... Like, she's supposed to be right all the time, and the mother's never supposed to be right, whereas, you know, in the movie, neither one's really right.
Just like in real life.
Yeah, just like in real life.
Like, with this sort of coming-of-age thing. Again, like I said, in Take Her, She's Mine, they both have their merits. They both have their sides that you understand.
That's what this is, and it's like... Except, you know, in something like Lady Bird, the daughter's still likable.
Yeah.
For everything.
They're both very likable.
They're both likable, even for everything.
Because you relate to them so much. Here, there's absolutely no one you can relate to.
Yeah, because...
They're not characters, they're characters. And they're really bad characters at that. Really unlikable characters.
So, the daughter ends up marrying Chad Everett's character before the end of the movie, out of, like, nowhere.
Yeah.
But...
I don't blame her, but...
I would... Yeah, I know, but... Professor...
he could do so much better.
He could. I kept thinking. We
were riffing that. We're like, he could do better.
I'm like, he could be with an actual adult because honestly, it's scary thinking that this girl is married because she is not old enough to be married. Like,
she doesn't act like an adult.
Yeah, I realized, like, at the time, like, with the age, like, with the consent of marriage, she's old enough, but I mean, mentally, she is not.
If she actually acted like an adult, that'd be
exactly, it would be warranted, or if she growed over the movie, if she started young, but then, like, grew as a character throughout the movie, like Lady Bird, or something that's actually good with this type of plot. This, she doesn't change at all. She is the same at the beginning of the movie as she is at the end of the movie, and she deserves she doesn't deserve this type of ending. She doesn't earn it. And not
because she doesn't have a conversation with her father, he doesn't have a conversation with her, and she doesn't learn anything.
And also the way she gets married. She marries without telling anybody. Yeah. And I'm like, and she does it, and then she throws a tantrum. The climax is her throwing a tantrum and getting in her car and driving away and having David Niven and Chad Everett chasing her. I'm like, this character...
Let her go.
Yeah, this character is a whiny brat. You should...
Rather than just standing there and talking it out with them, maybe saying why she didn't tell him or anything. Yeah. Like an adult would do.
I feel like
she runs away like a child.
A man clearly wrote this because he thinks this is how teenage girls act. He thinks that they're all hysterical, like harpies that, like, run away and, like, cry a lot.
I remember when we were teenagers, like, I'm driving away because I'm not having a conversation with you.
I did it all the time. I mean, like, of course there were days like that, but never, like, after marriage. Like, when he's like, why didn't you tell me you were married? Yeah. And she's like, you're always so mean to me. How dare I not tell you about
You're such an awful father.
I didn't want to tell you that I was married.
How dare you care about me? And I also want to talk about the ending. Like I said, this movie's so much like Take Her, She's Mine. And the ending, it ends like Take Her, She's Mine. At the end of Take Her, She's Mine, Jimmy Stewart has another daughter he comes home to after finally accepting that his daughter is grown up and married now.
The other daughter, the younger daughter, is the girl from the one girl in the Jungle Book at the end of it that sings about the water.
Really?
Yeah.
In Take Her, She's Mine, or this one?
This one.
Oh, this girl.
One. Oh, yeah. It's like, you know, like, this is a year after that.
Let's go and fetch the water.
That's her.
Well, anyway.
I looked it up.
Well, anyway, in Take Her, She's Mine, he comes home and sees his second daughter is grown up now. She's like, she comes in and he sees that, oh wow, she's grown up too, because she's in a bikini and boys are like, hey, come back outside, that she's having a party. And so he sits down and realizes he can't stop it, let her live her life. He actually learned his lesson. In this one, we see the younger daughter come down, and she's not in a bikini, or I think she was wearing like
I think was she in a bikini?
I don't remember.
Whatever.
She's
with her friend.
Yeah, she's like,
her
look,
male friend. Yeah.
She's like, look at
Who's
me.
another Disney actor.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, she's like, oh, look at me, I'm grown up now. Then he's like, oh no, you're not, young lady.
He chases her up the stairs like, I haven't learned anything, and neither has my daughter. Nobody learns anything in this movie. Ugh.
We're going through this, here we go again. So no characters have learned anything.
Yeah, the whole script was meaningless. You watching this movie was meaningless.
We sat through shit for nothing.
Exactly. It's like the end of Invasion USA when you're like, I sat through that big pile of shit for nothing. That's what this
for
is.
stock footage.
Yeah. You after it's over, you're like, I sat through a big pile of shit where characters get rewarded for doing nothing.
If you just want to stare at Chad Everett, watch something good that he's in. Go watch Medical Center.
Oh my god. And like everyone in this like went on to do other things. I mentioned even like the kids in it or Disney actors.
And I'm guessing Ozzie Nelson didn't put this on his resume.
Except for the Dennis the rapist next to her, except for him.
Well, and again, Ozzie Nelson wrote he did write he produced a lot of the Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, where they actually did deal with teen problems realistically. So he must have known this was shit then.
And also, before we end, this movie's idea of like hippie culture tries to be like it tries to do the funny thing with it, kind of like a lot of movies at the time did, but they would usually just do it for like a one-shot joke, and it was fine then because it's like, oh, it's just a quick joke, like in The Love Bug, with the two hippies, and whereas
don't you dare bring down The Love Bug and mention it with this movie.
I'm sorry. I'm joking. I was already talking about other Disney movies. It was in my head, and when I thought of hippies, I thought of The Love Bug. Anyway. Where again, it's just a one-shot joke, so it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. But, I said, compare this movie to other movies at the time, like, that, with characters in hippie culture, and some of them are like this, and some of them are, try to understand the culture a little more. In this movie, I feel like, excuse me, its version of hippie culture is just, like, the whole joke with the hippie characters, he's a hippie.
Yeah, no defined qualities, just hippie. He looks like a hippie.
Look at him. He has big hair.
Yeah, he doesn't act like a hippie. He just looks like one.
Yeah, except for taking like the nude picture where she didn't pose nude.
Apparently, that's what hippies do.
Where he can just picture what she looks like nude.
Yeah. And in one part they find out she's married, but they don't know who to, and they think it's the hippie. You're like, it's obviously Chad Everett, guys. Yeah. Like, honestly, you're not thinking
it's obviously
this.
the man she doesn't deserve.
Yeah.
No, it would be funny if it ended and she married the hippie, and then, like, she drove away, like, crying, and then you're like, that seems about right. Like, this character hasn't learned anything.
And
then it's just, like, a teen, like, romance that used to be annulled.
Yeah. But, how long was this movie?
I don't know.
It felt like it was 3 hours long.
It did. Oh my god, like, I remember, like, it must have been 20 minutes in or so. I was thinking in my head, so is this almost over?
I know.
And I think, I remember when I was doing research for this movie, when I was writing about it.
At least in Island in Love and Goodbye Charlie, they go through some character development. Here, there is none.
Yeah, but here it doesn't even, like, attempt to do anything. At least
they tried in the other ones.
Goodbye Charlie and Island in Love, like, it wasn't believable, but they attempted something. Yeah. This one doesn't even, like, it just expects you to be stupid enough to follow it. Mm-hmm. But when I was doing research for this movie, I read, like, a lot of parents complaining that this was rated G. And I'm like,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, there's Dennis the Rapist next door. And I was like, no
mind.
Yeah. Everything, and the nude painting, but I'm like, you don't see anything.
Yeah, and again, it's a painting.
Or was the painting in a bathing suit? I don't remember. She
posed for in a bathing suit, but he painted her
naked. Yeah. But it's one of those, like, I don't feel like with young kids that would have much of an effect, but the The Rapist Next Door, I wouldn't want to
being
show
played
to
for
kids.
laughs.
Yeah, being played for laughs.
If it was played like, this guy is a creep, stay away from him, then that'd be different. Although she does, but you know.
But it's not.
She's a brat, but she's not. But she's not.
No one
brain dead.
No, and yeah, like she doesn't like. She doesn't think, oh, he's charming. At least, you know, like she is grossed out by him, but the movie still plays it like it's funny. Nobody in the movie's thinking it's funny, but the way it's directed, they're like, hey, look at it. And the movie never addresses it and says, no, what he did was bad. Yeah, he just goes away and doesn't really come back. Yeah, he just is next door and he occasionally hits on her sometimes, and you're like, go away, creep. And then Ozzy comes like, what are you doing, son? I'm like, get out of here and be in something good. Alright, final thoughts. This movie is awful. This was a bad one. This was, I think, one of the ones that, like, we hated the most. Yeah. Like, it wasn't, like... It's pretty easy to rip, because, again, nobody learns anything. It was... and if you really like, and Riff and bad team movies are really easy to riff, actually. Yeah. So it's a good riffing movie. I remember when you rated this on your scale. Yeah. Of like 1 to 5, of 5 being like absolutely like impossible, like awful, impossible to get through, and you said nothing's a 5 except for like Sex Students Go to College. You said this was a 4. Yeah, it was, which is, you know, pretty damn close to being absolutely bottom of the barrel. Yeah, the only ones I think like a 5 were Sex Students Go to College and Tarzan the Ape Man, the 1981 version. Yeah, so yeah, I know, the 2 worst movies I ever saw. Yeah. So yeah, this one was a 4. So keep that in mind. What else was a 4? Anything? Oh, I can't. I can't think from the top of my head. I do remember that this one was a 4. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of 4s. I remember we were like, yeah, that one was bad, and that was on, but... And, like, again, my review panned it, and you panned it in the scale, because after we see Riffraff movies, Bianca puts them on a scale of, again, like I said, 1 to 5, and this one was bad enough to get a 4. Yeah, because a lot of them are harmless, but this one's just annoying as all... It's annoying, it feels long, and it's exhausting. Like, you want to take a long shower and then a long nap. And the other ones, like the good cast, at least like they had their moments here. There's absolutely nothing for the cast to show that they're talented. Here, there's not one thing I found funny. There's not one thing I found redeemable. Yeah. This is a disgusting movie. Yeah. It is disgusting. Yeah. This movie can fuck off. I know. I'm not kidding. So it deserves a good riffing. It does. If you're game for like, you know, like a stupid ass movie. A stupid ass family movie that's actually comes across as creepy, and it's only the beginning where it's a creepy part, but still, and nobody the rest of them. And nobody learns anything. Yeah, where it's just stupid and pointless, and you know, it's kind of. I guess it's kind of like, you know, there are movies today like that. It'd be like riffing one of those. Yeah, and you know, like we said, it's easy to riff, but it's exhausting. It's like a beach movie; those are pretty exhausting too, but not like this. Beach movies are exhausting because of all the plots and like everybody's just like. There's so much noise. Yeah, you get like a headache kind of watching it. With this, it's not so much. It's so stupid. It's not so much a headache. You're just like you groan through it. Yeah. Beach movies, they aren't 4. You know, on the scale, they're not 4. They're what, like a 2? Yeah. Depend. The worst ones are 3, but yeah. But yeah, most of them are 2s. Ghost in the Invisible Bikini deserves to be a 4. That actually might have been a 4. Yeah, that one. It would either be a high 3 or a high, but I think it would be a 4 because that one's bad. That's the worst one. Yeah, it is. We always say it's the worst. But it wasn't offensive like this. It wasn't. Till the ending. Yeah, that's kind of debatable. Well, we'll get to that later. Okay, so on a better note, movies you could watch this weekend. Yep. Good movies. Good ones, yep. Alright. I have 3. I recommended Tarzan Escapes, which was supposed to be like the most like violent Tarzan movie out of the MGM Tarzan movies, but it was supposed to be like even more gruesome. And but the production code came in, which really sucks because it sounds like it would have been. Yeah. It would have been like one. It could have been the best one. And Irving Thalberg wasn't working on them anymore because that's the year he died. So he was often the person championing for them to push the envelope. I feel like Tarzan and his mate did for, like, you know, sex, this movie could have done for violence, and I feel like, you know, of pushing that envelope, and I feel like it would have been awesome, but as it stands, it still has some little moments like that, not enough, but it does have some, and it's an enjoyable entry.
All the MGM Tarzan movies with Johnny Weissman are good.
Yeah, all worth seeing. Oh yeah. All right.
Even owning, they're that good.
And I recommended the Noir Alley this week. No questions asked. I love Barry Sullivan as a noir hero. I mean, like anti-hero, whatever you want to call it, but and sometimes like, you know, villainous protagonist. But I think he's really effective in noir, and this also has, I like the supporting cast in this. Gene Hagen's really good on this, and there's all these like little surprises throughout the movie.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, that are.
It opens on a great note too.
It's one that kept my attention, and it was great. Like with pretty much a good chunk of Barry Sullivan's film noirs, I feel like I might enjoy them a little more than some other people, just because, like, again, like I mentioned in our underrated noir post, I said he reminds me of Franco Tone, and I just like that type of acting. So yeah. But no questions asked. If you're a noir buff, that's a definite watch. It's a lot of fun. All right, and A Night to Remember, the best movie about the Titanic.
Love it.
I said it's exciting, heartbreaking, and expertly handled material that avoids the high gloss and melodrama of other Titanic features. It's
wink, wink, hint, hint.
It is like for so many different perspectives instead of just like one side of the story, and it's amazing.
Different classes, different people.
Yep. All right.
And I recommended the same last two. I have no questions asked again. Great noir. And we love Barry Sullivan in these type of films. And it's a very dark noir for MGM. So it's really interesting to see that.
Mostly avoids that gloss.
Yeah. I mean, it has some gloss. I called it a dark yet glossy crime film.
It's just like, in the more grittier scenes it avoids. It's like to the point where you're like, did MGM allow this? Like, you're like, there are some gruesome parts.
Their noirs are very underrated, except for like The Asphalt Jungle. And then there's I also recommend A Night to Remember. My stomach, I remember the first time I saw it, my stomach hurt the whole time during it. I mean, in a good way, because I was just so compelled and really just wanted to see what happened to these characters. And there's a lot of stars to be in that movie. So, little David McKillum, Honor Blackman.
Not only is it the best movie about the Titanic, but it's our favorite about the Titanic.
Easily.
Yeah, it is a must.
I like the 53 one too, but yeah.
But it's one of those things that you're like, yeah, I like it, but A Night to Remember has the whole package of what you want in a Titanic movie.
It's perfect.
Yep. And and let's just give a shout out to one of the best characters in it, the old guy reading his book the whole time.
He will finish his book.
He will just finish his book.
That's my favorite part. I love that old man. I love it. I love that character. I don't know I don't know his name, but I love him.
I love that. Yeah. All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.